Hello dear children. Children, in the class of AC circuits, we are going to study today the second practical circuit, and that is CR circuit. What is CR circuit? In CR circuit we have a capacitor connected with resistance in series across an alternating source. So before we proceed ahead with capacitive resistive circuit, let us recapitulate the phasor relationship between current and voltage across capacitor and resistance. Children, we have already studied that across resistance, current and voltage phasors are parallel to each other. Why? Because phase difference between them is zero. Across inductor, voltage leads over current, and the phase difference happens to be phi between current and voltage. And across capacitor, we are going to use this. Across capacitor, voltage lags behind current by phase pi by 2 radian. The phase difference is pi, voltage lags behind current. And if we wish to recollect these phasor relationship, then we have to refer to this very simple word which we all know, civil, C-I-V-I-L, civil. So we have to write down civil as C-I-V-I-L. So here is a gap in between, nothing here. We write civil as what? C-I-V-I-L. So here there is nothing, so what do? Like here it is I cross, so we'll put here what? V. Now from this notation we are going to read out or extract the phasor relationship between current and voltage across capacitor and inductor. And what is that? Across capacitor, current leads over voltage by phase pi by 2. Across capacitor, current leads over voltage by phase pi by 2, or we can transform this as voltage lags behind current by phase pi by 2. So voltage lags behind current by phase pi by 2. This is what is plotted here. Well, across inductor, voltage leads over current, or we can say current lags behind voltage. So with this very simple word C-I-V-I-L, civil, we can recapitulate, we can extract the phasor relationship between current and voltage across capacitor as well as inductor. Well, we are going to study CR circuit. So this is capacitor and this is resistance connected in series across this source. As usual, this V is RMS value of the voltage of this source, nu is the linear frequency, and instantaneous value of voltage V provided by this alternating source is what? V is equal to V naught sine of omega t. Now we are going to find out instantaneous value of current across this combination by phasor analysis. Well, in phasor analysis we draw all the phasors together. So where are these phasors? Let us see. In series current is same, therefore if current I is drawn from the source at any instant, same current is going to be through this capacitor, same current is going to be through this resistance. So current and voltage phasor across this resistance, they are parallel to each other as phase difference between current and voltage across resistance is 0. Well, across capacitor, if this happens to be current, this happens to be the current through capacitor, then what about voltage? Voltage lags behind current. Voltage lags behind current by phase pi by 2. So this is V across condenser or capacitor, which lags behind current by phase pi by 2. This is pi by 2. So these two phasors and these two phasors are drawn together. So let us redraw these phasors here. This is your V, this is I through resistance, or you can say this is current through resistor. The voltage through resistor is what? Parallel to it. If this happens to be the same, happens to be the current through capacitor, then where is voltage? Voltage across capacitor lags behind current by phase 90 degree. Now when we draw all phasors together, what do we know? We come to know that VC and VL VC and VR, they are what? Perpendicular to each other. In series, current is same, but what about potential difference? That potential difference is distributed across the devices connected in series. The two devices connected here are capacitor and resistor. So voltage V is distributed across both the devices as VL and VR. VL and VR. And sum of this VL and VR is applied voltage phi. But how do we find out sum? We are going to find out sum only when we know the exact phase relationship between VL and VR. And that is what we are doing here. This is VR, this is I, and this is I, this is VL. So when we draw all four phasors together, where current phasor is common, we come to know that VR and V, the two voltages are 90 degree out of phase. And their sum is going to be what? Their sum is going to be the diagonal of parallelogram through them. Yeah, this is going to be their vector sum, V. So this V is overall voltage. So overall voltage V is vector sum of VC and VR. And what is that going to be? That is going to be square root of sum of their squares. Well, what is this overall voltage V? This overall voltage V lags behind, V across R by phase phi. And this V is what? In same phase with current. So we can say this V lags behind I by phase phi. V lags behind by phase phi, that simply means V lags behind I by phase phi. That is transformed, and what we can write it as I leads over V by phase phi. The V lags behind current or I leads over voltage by phase phi. Both means the same. Now since I leads over V by phase phi, therefore this current, instantaneous value of current is going to be I naught sine of omega t plus phi. Current leads over voltage by phase phi. So we have made change here in the phase. And see how easily we are able to write down the value of current using this phasor analysis. Okay, so what about this V? This V is vector sum of VL and VC. Well, from this triangle we can find out the value of cos phi, sin phi, tan phi, but we will come to these terms, with these points later on. Let us for the time being see what is instantaneous value of power. Instantaneous value of power is the product of instantaneous value of voltage and current. And instantaneous value of voltage and current we have already found out. Let us multiply them. V is V naught sine of omega t and I is I naught sine of omega t plus phi. This is instantaneous value of power at any instant. What is average value of power? Average value of power is going to be P dt integration from 0 to t divided by t. So let us substitute this P here. How do we write this average value like this? We have already studied right in the beginning the master formula of average value of a continuous function, and that is what we are making use of. So let us substitute the value of P here, that is V naught I naught and t integration of sine omega t into sine of omega t plus phi dt from 0 to t, and integration of this very term comes out to be t cos of phi by 2. And if we substitute the value of t cos of phi by 2 for this term, what do we get? T cancels out, we get V naught I naught cos of phi by 2, and this 2 is written as root 2 into root 2. V naught upon root 2 is RMS value of voltage, and I naught upon root 2 is what? RMS value of current. So V average is equal to, average value of power is going to be V into I into cos of phi. Remember, this V is RMS value of voltage, this I is RMS value of current. And if this cosine term, if cosine term has what? Maximum value, the average power is going to be maximum. If cosine term has 0 value, then average power is going to be 0. But here, this cos of phi is neither going to be 0, nor it is going to be maximum 1. It is going to be somewhere in between. Why? Because this phi is neither 0 nor 90. It is practical circuit. This phi is going to be somewhere between 0 and 90. And this term cos phi is very rightly called as power factor. This term cos phi is very rightly called as power factor. Well, what is overall voltage? As we were talking about, this overall voltage is sum of these two perpendicular vectors, and these perpendicular phases are what? VC and VR. So V is going to be, hypotenuse is going to be square root of sum of squares of base and perpendicular, VC square. Yeah. What is overall voltage? Overall voltage is overall current into overall obstruction. Overall current into overall obstruction. This overall obstruction is known by the name impedance of CR circuit. Impedance. Impedance is obstruction offered by capacitor and resistor together. The combination of reactance and resistance is what is called as impedance. We cannot change this. This nomenclature is used here. We cannot use any other word other than impedance, because impedance itself means the combination of reactance and resistance. So reactance is provided by capacitor and resistance is provided by resistor. The combination of the two is impedance. Well, V across capacitor is I into obstruction by capacitor, that is XC. V across resistance is I into R, the value of resistance. And if we substitute these values here in this equation, what do we get? V as, we get V as IZ. This is I into XC whole square. This is VR, I square, R square. You can see that I comes out common and cancels out. So what do we get? Z. Z is XC square plus R square square root. This is the formula of impedance of CR circuit. And we know, what do we know? We know that XC is equal to what? 1 upon omega C, or 1 upon 2 pi nu C. If we substitute this value here, what do we get Z as? We get Z as, 1 upon 4 pi square nu square C square. This is this is XC square, and then L square. XC is equal to what? 1 upon omega C, and square of this is going to be what? 2 4 pi square nu square C square plus R square square root. Why I am writing like this? Because I am going to plot a graph between Z, the impedance, and nu, the frequency. And this graph is going to be what? This graph is going to be a rectangular hyperbola like this. And this rectangular hyperbola runs parallel to frequency axis. And this is minimum value of Z. And what is that equal to? R. This is 0, 0. Why is graph like this? See, when frequency is 0, this term is infinite. Infinite plus R square is what? Infinite. And square root of infinite is what? Infinite. That means when frequency is 0, Z is infinite. So graph starts parallel to this axis, Z axis. As the value of frequency increases, this term becomes what? As the value of this frequency increases, this term becomes what? Non-zero. Sorry, finite. This term becomes finite. And of course, the overall value what? Decreases. It is no more infinite. So as the value of frequency increases, this term decreases, therefore the value of whole Z decreases. And when the value of frequency becomes infinite, this term becomes 0, Z becomes equal to R. So when frequency is very, very large, Z becomes minimum and it becomes equal to R. So this is graph of Z versus frequency. And it is the graphical plot of this mathematical relation as explained to you. Now let us come to talk about this power factor. What is power factor? Power factor is the factor of maximum power, that is cos of phi. What is that? That is cos phi. Yeah, we can find out cos phi from this triangle. What is cos phi? Cos phi is base upon hypotenuse. What is base? VR. Hypotenuse is what? V. So this is VR upon V. This VR can be written as I into R, and this V can be written as I into Z. So we can see that this I cancels out, and what do we get? R upon Z. This is what is cos phi. Yeah. At times in the question, sin phi is given or asked. So what is sine of this angle phi? Sine of phi is going to be perpendicular upon hypotenuse, VC upon V. So this is VC upon V. VC is I into XC, V is I into Z. You can see I cancels out. What do we get? Sine phi as XC upon Z. XC upon Z. And what is tangent of phi? Tangent of phi is perpendicular upon base. perpendicular is VC, base is what? VR. So VC upon VR, yeah, VC is I into XC, VR is I into R, this I cancels out, what do we get? XC upon R, this is tangent of phi. So we must know the values of these trigonometrical ratios, because at times in the numerical these ratios are given. And another important thing which I have not yet stated here is wattless current. Wattless current. So what is wattless current? Let us see it here. This is V, and we know that V lags behind current by phase phi. So this is I in the circuit, and this is V, which lags behind current by phase phi. So this is I and this is V in the circuit, and phase difference between them is what? Phi. This V lags behind I by phase phi. Now in this situation, this I, if we take this V as one of the axis, other axis is taken as perpendicular to V, like this, then this I will have two components. One component of the I would be along voltage, and what is that going to be? That is going to be yeah, I cos phi. This is I cos phi. And the other component of this current, which is perpendicular to voltage, is what? I sin phi. I sin phi. And this I sin phi is what is called as wattless current. So what is wattless current? Wattless current. Wattless current is I sin phi. This is general formula for wattless current. Wattless current is the current because of which average power consumption is 0. And this current has a phase difference of 90 degree with voltage. In case of purely resistive circuit, there is no wattless current. In case of purely inductive circuit and capacitive circuit, total current is wattless. In case of particle circuit LR and even here CR, the wattless current is I sin phi. Phi is neither 0 nor 90, it is in between. Therefore, a part of the current is wattless, I sin phi. So, if we wish to find out wattless current, then we need to know this sin of phi, which is XC upon Z. In case of LR circuit, it is XL upon R. So, this was CR circuit before you, children. So, this is very, very simple. If you have understood LR circuit, you can understand CR circuit also. And if you have understood CR circuit, you can understand LR circuit also. In the next class when we meet, we'll study third and final particle circuit, and that is going to be LCR series circuit. So until we meet again, goodbye.